It's my feel-good breakfast show.
We are loving the intro, of course, previously on Expresso. Firstly, welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast show. We've explored the 5 different love languages that were identified and developed by psychological researcher John Gottman. And he has also identified 5 different ways in which couples engage in arguing with each other. Now, conflict in relationships is inevitable, and most couples exhibit one of 5 styles of conflict. Now, it is Monday and we are talking relationships, and that means we are welcoming Asha Dullabh back into studio, and we're asking you the question this morning: how do you resolve conflict in your relationship? Clinical psychologist Asha is here to help us really discuss this, and we are also taking your questions and comments. That's on our Facebook page and our studio line, so feel free to call us. That number is 021 110 5552 so that you can connect with us. What an intro.
Asha, what an intro. Yes, and such an extensive conversation that we can go on and on unpacking. But, you know, we know that in relationships, and we've all experienced this, whether it's romantic relationships or with our friends or with family, that there are people who like to stir the pot, okay, and keep us on our toes. We're always burning around them. And then you get those in any type of relationship who like to sort of take the step back and like to avoid conflict and will do everything they can to make everyone, in inverted commas, comfortable. But is conflict necessary in any relationship, Asha?
I think absolutely it's necessary. I think conflict grows us. We learn a lot from conflict. We start actually experiencing with conflict from a very young age. As toddlers, you know, we have play dates, we have conflict with our play dates, and we have to resolve those. And I think that it's a myth to think that when we look at couples, that happy couples don't have conflict. I think in life we have conflict with many aspects of our lives. So conflict is very much part and parcel of who we are as a human being. And we need to embrace the learnings from conflict. So yes, it's important and it's a must. We have to experience conflict.
And I suppose it also comes down to how you express or deal with your conflict. Let's touch on the 5 ones that John Gottman has identified.
All right, so there's 5 styles that he has identified. So the first one we speak about is validating.
Okay.
And the validating style is where 2 people are really able to validate each other's needs and feelings. They have a lot of respect, understanding and empathy for each other. They can really sort of get to some kind of resolution to the matter with complete laughter, lightness, and it can easily sort of just be resolved. So this is quite a healthy style. And then we have the volatile style. The volatile style, these I could say that it's like having 2 lawyers in the room. They love debating. They fight with intensity, but they also make up with quite a lot of passion and intensity. And these couples, I mean, there is a level of respect and understanding as well. And they also seem to reach a point where there's a means to an end and they resolve it. Then we have the hostile. The hostile is a bit of a tricky one. This is where we can imagine people battling it out like a war or an army. They are very aggressive. They can be quite attacking. You know, name-calling of partners, breaking down of character, criticizing, and that really can lead to a lot of repetitive conflict coming up. And of course, we have the avoidant style. I mean, the avoidant, they are the ones that feel, hey, I don't really need to fight. I will keep things light. I will, you know, let it just resolve itself. I mean, those kind of couples would say, you know, we are happy. We don't really need any help or any therapy. But the downfall of that is that sometimes we can build up some resentment, and we then can seek attention in other regards. And then we have the hostile, detached. You know, these people are hostile. There's an internal aggressiveness, but they're also just detached. There's no emotional connection. There's no intimacy. And these kind of couples are really needing some help and support to resolve those kind of patterns.
I love that you're able to break down these different styles and types of personalities and approaches to managing or even resolving conflict, because it's very important, I think, in any relationship to be able to look at all of these lined up and be able to reflect against yourself and be able to identify which one you are most likely exhibiting in any instance and which one your partner is likely to exhibit. But we're going to continue with this conversation. There's so much, right?
Yes, we are. I just want to ask you, Asha, like if the person that gets still staper, under which category would they find? Because they just go quiet. They go quiet when they're angry.
Yeah, I think that that's more avoidant.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it can be for many reasons. Sometimes we can avoid because we don't want to hurt someone's feelings. Sometimes we just want to keep the peace for the moment. So we must remember that conflict, brings in our personality. It brings in how our day went. I mean, there's so many influences in how we deal with the disagreement at that time.
I imagine that sometimes those people who then just freeze or rather keep quiet or avoid, sometimes possibly even avoid because they know if they don't avoid, they're going to cause a mess.
Absolutely, rather be quiet.
Oh, man.
Asha, not going anywhere. We are asking you the question, how do you resolve conflict in your relationship? Asha Dullabh is here with us this morning to really help us discuss this topic, and we are taking your questions and comments via our Facebook page, so head on over there if you have something to ask. And if you feel like calling us, our studio line is 021 110 552, and please connect with us.